What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the best sports cards that were never made, never produced, the best and biggest missed opportunities of sports cards. People make a whole lot of art and custom cards. You can find them all over the internet, and that's what I was using to find some of these cards that could have been made. I found like 30 to 40 of them. I figured I'd make a video on it and see if you guys enjoyed them as much as I did. Now, it'd be interesting to see what you guys think is the most cool looking cards, so comment below what ones catch your eye and what ones you wish would have been made. I got a list of 12 different players here that all had some major missed opportunities, so I'll throw some pictures up on the screen while I'm kind of going through their names and the years that should have been made. Starting it off, we got Babe Ruth, and the one that you saw in the thumbnail where he's calling his shot. That would have been an awesome card to be made. That's kind of like a 33 Gaudi concept card, but he has some other cool ones that also were kind of missed opportunities. So the 1933 DeLong would have been a very cool Ruth card. Obviously, there's the Lou Gehrig in the set that's extremely popular, rare, and expensive. And if there would have been a Ruth to go along with that, that would have definitely been awesome. Another Ruth that we missed out on would have been the Diamond Stars Babe Ruth. That's a very cool and colorful looking set that if you had another Ruth card with some cool color would definitely have been a very popular card. Probably would have made the entire Diamond Stars set much more popular, to be honest. Since there really is only the 33 Gaudis of Ruth where he has some nice bright colors and interesting looking cards, the 33 Gaudis are really the main recognizable card. It would be nice to have something like Diamond Stars. And a huge missed opportunity with Ruth also would have been the 1914 or 1915 Cracker Jack cards. If Ruth was in this set, it would be an absolutely monster card. Already one of the very best sets, arguably the best set of all time. And 1914, 1915 would have been right around Ruth's rookie year. So he'd be a rookie Babe Ruth from maybe the best set of all time. That would be an insane card. Now moving to a player who has some of the most missed opportunities, just doesn't have very many cards. One of my personal favorites is going to be Stan Musial. He has a ton of cards that I wish would have been made, but sadly never were. Now, as I'm sure many of you know, Stan doesn't have a lot of cards. He's got the 48, 49 Bowman, and then he's got the 52, 53 Bowman, and then doesn't have another card until 1958 tops. So there's a big gap there right in kind of his prime of his career that he could have had some really cool cards. Topps and Bowman definitely missed out by not being able to put him in the set, but he had some awesome cards that could have been made, like the 52 or the 53 Topps would have both been awesome cards, as well as really anything in that gap would have just been awesome to have some more Musial cards. And one of my personal favorites that would have missed out on would have been his rookie year, 1941. So he could have technically had a 1941 play ball card, which would be a massive card and an amazing set, one of my personal favorites of all time. The third player we're going to is another one who just doesn't have hardly any cards at all that you can get. He's got the 49 Bowman and the 53 Topps. It's going to be Satchel Paige. Other than those two cards I just named, good luck finding any other Satchel Paige cards. He has the Leaf, which is insanely expensive and insanely tough to find. But Satchel was playing in the Negro Leagues all the way back into the early 1930s. He could have had a 33 Gaudi card if he would have played in the majors, which was some sick cards that I found, some awesome artwork on those. And he played all the way up into the early 50s, so he would have had also like a 38 Gaudi, 52 Topps, and some of the early Bowmans, the 50, 51, 52 Bowmans. He could have also been in those sets. So Satchel Paige is definitely one of the biggest, most missed opportunities out of any player. And along with Ruth, we have another Yankee. This is Lou Gehrig in the 38 Gaudi. This is one of my favorite art cards that I've found. I think this would have been an awesome card. I love the design that they put on it. And obviously, if this were in the set, this would be a massive card to go along with the Joe DiMaggio rookie. Now, Ted Williams, another player like Stan Musial, who had a big gap in his career where he just didn't have cards. After his 51 Bowman, he didn't have any more until the 54 Topps, and he had some pretty sweet missed opportunities with the 49 Bowman. Would have been an amazing looking card. As well as, like I mentioned, the 52 and 53 Topps and the 53 Bowman. These all would have been awesome looking cards for Ted Williams. I would say especially the 53 with kind of the Red Sox, the red color match, the red and white. I think that would have been a very cool looking card, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. Number 6, we got Jackie Robinson, one of the most collectible players of all time. Now, Jackie, much like Satchel, spent a good amount of his career in the Negro League, so he was not able to have as many cards produced as we would like of him. But even once he got to the majors, there was still a lot of missed opportunities of cards that you could have had for Jackie Robinson. You could have had his major league rookie be the 48 Bowman set, which would be a very cool card, or some of the other early Bowmans, like 51 through 53, all cards, especially the 53 set, which people already love. That would be awesome additions to the set. Big cards that everyone would love, but again, not meant to be. Now, Mickey Mantle, arguably the most collectible player of all time. I said Jackie Robinson is very collectible. Mickey Mantle is also up there and probably even ahead of him. Mantle's got the iconic 1952 Topps, as well as having the 53 Topps, another beautiful card that everyone in the hobby loves. But what Topps missed out on was the 54 and the 55 Topps Mantle when he was signed to Bowman. So these cards were not produced because of the contract he had with Bowman, but people have been making some very cool art cards of these years, the different designs, and even Topps has went back and produced some art looking cards from those years. It's one of the greatest stories of what if cards, some awesome looking sets, and it's a shame that they were never made. Now, moving to the 1960s, this whole set is kind of before the 60s. After that, most players had cards most years. But in 1963, the Pete Rose rookie, what if that card would have been a solo card? Now, I think that's a very cool what if. I personally am not a huge fan of the 4 floating heads on the card. If there was just the individual Pete Rose, I think that would be a sweet looking card. And with how popular of a player Pete Rose was, I'm sure people would be buying up that card. And now we got the first player on the list who doesn't have any cards. That's going to be Josh Gibson. Maybe and arguably the best black baseball player of all time and the best catcher of all time. Josh Gibson put up some insane stats, but unfortunately played his entire career in the segregated leagues. His career spanned from the 30s up into the 50s, and some of the cards he could have had would have been the 33 Gowdy, 1948 Leaf, or a 52 Topps card. All of those could have been made, but unfortunately were not. Josh Gibson, if he had some more cards from Topps or Bowman or any of these sets, he would be a much more collected player in the hobby, but unfortunately it's insanely tough to find any Josh Gibson piece. These ones definitely would have been sick. Another guy who really has next to no cards, he has a couple, but they are insanely expensive and for good reason, shoeless Joe Jackson. Now, obviously, part of the 1919 scandal throwing the World Series, Joe Jackson was banned from baseball after that. But this card would have been produced before that, and as in 1909, the T206 Joe Jackson. That would be an amazing card. Another set you could argue is the greatest set of all time, and if you had Shoeless Joe in there, it would add another piece of baseball history and another awesome chase card for people to go after. Like I said, one of the most popular players of all time without hardly any cards you can go after. So this one would have made it just a little bit more attainable. We got 2 players left on the list. Number 1 is going to be Joe DiMaggio, the 1949 Bowman card, one of my personal favorite sets. And I think this art card that the person created is a terrific looking card and definitely wish that was in the set. That going along with the Jackie and the Campy and all the other cards in that set, I think would have been amazing. And the final card on this list would have been a rookie card for one of the best players of all time, Hank Aaron. He has the obvious iconic 54 Topps rookie card, but what if he had the 1954 Red Heart? Everyone loves the Mantle and the Stan Musial from that set. The Hank Aaron being a rookie in that set would have just been insane. Like I said, lots of these are actually available. If you go on eBay, you can probably buy these for $5-6, something like that. Most of them you can find. Obviously, they're not real cards. They're probably just printed piece of paper or something. But if you throw them in a top loader, set them in your display, they'll go pretty well with everything else you've got. You guys know what time it is. It's time to draw the winner for this video's giveaway. It's this Ted Williams right here. The next giveaway winner is going to get this Ted Kluszewski Pirates All-Stars. If you're a Pirates fan or a Pirates collector, or you like Ted Kluszewski, that'll be a good card for you. So good luck to everyone. Let's see who we got. Looks like it's going to be Mike Petty. So congratulations, Mike. I'll get the Kluszewski headed your way.